But the draft is on the way as we see the Timbersaw get let through, so Keen Gaming gonna snatch that up. It does offer Newbee the potential to be able to counter him throughout the laning stage already, so they have at least that Monkey King matchup to be able to deal with the Timber though. Sorry, I'm just trying to think of what they can look to go for next. The Chen into the Timber's kind of interesting because Timber's got a lot of wave clear, is able to deal with the Chen creeps relatively well. They might even go for like another hero. They're gonna Phoenix. I thought like a Wyvern actually to deal with the Chen, and the Monkey is a really good matchup as well. But the one thing that Timber really suffers against is laning stage counters. Like this is a hero that's, in the end, once you get items, once you have levels, like you've got the magic damage, you've got the survivability throughout the laning stages where you lack that pressure, I should say, all the important levels and timings. You know, you've very reliant on being able to kind of hit, like, I'd say level 4 usually throughout the laning stage. You've got like a 1-1-2 build, sometimes even like a 0-2-2, depends on the matchup, but by level 4 you should have majority of the time, you know, you've got high points up in your active armor, which is going to be incredibly important. You take a look, Newbee, they are full on laning here, full on laning. Chen Monkey wins the bottom lane, so wins the top lane for the Dire. Then the Tusk is a very good tri-lane matchup. You can also pair, he is someone that's going to be able to make rotations. We saw the Tusk Chen a lot when the Chen got the TP. Remember when Cuddle lost his TP and they gave it to Chen, and we saw that combo frequently. The Chen Tusker just making a lot of movements, Tusk being that key +1 with the tag team to put a lot of pressure onto the lanes. Keen do go for the Venge though. This is a hero they heavily favor. They often like the Vengeful Spirit and the Puck, so I'll chalk that one out there just in case they do go for it. Looks pretty decent, honestly. Against the Monkey, it goes hand in hand. I like the Monkey for the catch against the Puck, but then I like the Puck coil for the Monkey. It's nice in kind of team fights.
10 seconds.
But right now I think Keen, they can probably like Ember, they can OD.
5 seconds remaining.
2 of these I think is really good against the Void Spirit. They don't have last pick as well, so they're going to try and look to pick the hero to counter the Void. The beautiful thing about the Newbee lineup is that the Void Spirit can go in either the mid lane or the off lane now, so they have a lot of flexibility with this hero. I actually like that pick a lot. Really good against the Tusker. Like the Tusk relies, like, Tusk is good against heroes that don't have built-in mobility. And Weaver Sakuchi, you just get away from Snowball out of shards too far, so it's really nice. They don't have a lot of lockdown as well, not a lot of burst potential. You've already had the minus armor with Avenge, now it's combined with the Weaver. You have this Timber to cause havoc. They don't have the greatest way to be able to protect the Phoenix Egg, which is the only issue right now. Like, it's kind of the brute force from Keen, like Timbersaw playing aggressive, Weaver hunting the backline supports here. So it is the one thing I'm a little worried about. And you do see Newbee even ban out the Ember. Like, the matchup versus the Void Spirit is very good. So with the Ember getting banned out, it makes me still think that, because if Keen pick the Ember, then they just flex the Void and put it on a 3, and then they go for a hero like an OD, which I think actually might get banned out by Keen, because it's good against the Timber. You're someone who builds single target lockdown, or actually, I say that, but OD doesn't deal with the egg, and that's actually they need to deal with the egg right now. So I said Keen don't have a lot of like crowd control protection. We see a lot of the Faceless Voids, the Mars, which actually got left through the pool, something I haven't brought up. Mars is still there, so that's something Newbee could look for potentially. Mars and Monkey is a really strong combo.
Dire team pick. Templar Assassin.
Alright, so they're gonna pick a TA and straight into Amiibo. I mean, this is a hero that he got banned, nerfed pretty heavily, I meant to say. It's also Wizard playing the Meepo. Wizard is their position 3 usually, so I'm going to presume that he can play the Meepo over AQ, so they're going to put the Meepo mid, they'll put the Void on the 3. So what's that thing I was kind of thinking about in regards to, you know, it's very similar to like 33. You know, on the teams he's played on, he's been that micro hero. So whenever they go for like the Brood, the Meepos, yeah, he's the one to actually be playing it. And then you have kind of a mid lane hero who can kind of play at least some offlane heroes, or at least play in that offlane decently. He can stay alive and have a relatively good time. So this is going to be interesting. I mean, it looks like a great Meepo game, honestly. Like, they have like no AoE damage at all, very single target focus. The Venge, the Weaver, the TA. Timber's really the only one. Now, Meepo did get nerfed pretty heavily. I think it was really it was at the 7.25. Yeah, it was. So the base agi from 24 to 27. Base damage and armor didn't get changed. So the only thing that changes is the movement speed and attack speed, and then the divided we stand got level. Just the first and second levels in the ultimates. They're now 4 and 11. So it is going to slightly hurt the laning stage. It's more that it's taking away the potential to be able to kind of take the jungle at a decent timing here, and you guys have a relatively good time as well. So yeah, I thought they were going to put the Meepo mid. The only reason why I was like, I wasn't even questioning. It's more that I actually haven't seen Wizard play the Meepo before. I didn't know Newbee had this like kind of in their back pocket. So this is I'm not gonna lie. I was speaking to Winter about it. I actually kind of like I like Meepo in regards to, I think it's very punishing in drafts. I love teams that are able to play the Husker, play the Meepo, play the Brood, the Arc Warden as well. It makes drafting so much more difficult, because now sometimes you have to ban one of those cheese picks in the first phase because you have these 4 bans now. Sometimes you have to ban it out in the second and third phase. It just forces the enemy team to respect ban that hero. And it just opens up your draft drastically. That is the thing that I like about the Meepo. Overall, the hero I don't like, I don't like versing it and watching it. I don't mind watching it just because I know how high skilled it actually is. Like, I've tried to learn it, and goddamn, I won't try again because of how difficult. So I have respect for Meepo plays just because of that factor. And like I said, I think it's really important in drafting scenarios where it just offers so much flexibility and forces the enemy team to actually ban out the hero. That's the only thing why I like the cheese picks. You know, of course, it's just an easy win a majority of the time, which I think, I mean, it looks like a beautiful game. Like, Timber's gonna struggle top against the... he's actually bot, so they swap up the lanes. Who TP'd as well? It looks like it was the Phoenix, so I was going to make sure it wasn't one of the cores here. So this is brilliant. And they also have Wykes in the lane. So the Tusker with the tag team, they have a lot of kill threat. I think level 2 they can find kills here. He's actually just going to kind of harass out a little bit here. A lot of time I do see the Timbers go 1 point in Timber Chain. Because that level 1 reactive armor doesn't really do a lot, the Timber Chain gives you a nice way to be able to shove out the creep wave and just secure your CS. Because you see 51 base damage, it's up to 60 to 69 right now with the help of the Quelling Blade. Where you see Monkey King's got a little bit better base damage. So the Timber, just nice in that regard. I've seen this a lot more now against matchups where you struggle, because 1 point in Timber Chain, sorry, 1 point in reactive armor, he's still going to get zoned out here. So as long as he can secure the range creep CS, where you see he's now up to the level 2. A lot faster than what he would have been. He would have got zoned out, I think, instead. But so, how's Yi gonna fare mid? This is I think the laning matchup for the TA is actually going to be relatively decent. The good thing is Wizard has very good base armor. You see 8 at the moment. You know, the side blades are pure damage, so it's not really going to have to worry too much about the armor. But if it is, you know, right clicking, you still sometimes TA is able to get those right clicks on the hero without the side blade, so it's still kind of an important thing. But I think, you know, that right now Wizard, he'd already have the ulti, the divided we stand. Unfortunately, he does not, so it kind of reduces. I think, yeah, the early levels, I think Meepo can really get pressured now, because you don't have this send a Meepo back, get him to full, then come back to the lane potential. So now if you go into like strong laning heroes that are able to harass really easily, you know, the side blades like the Huskars and etc. But AQ could be in trouble here. Erica does have the Sakuchi, isn't going to go aggressive with it. However, still just kind of trading up with the boys. So kind of struggling with the CS. Weaver doesn't have the greatest attack animation, you know, that's why we see sometimes the Weavers going for the bottle. One, because you've got really good rune control as well, but here we go. Waxy's going to make a rotation. So now with that second Meatbow here, just the extra tag team potential top. Falling low, but still mid. That's where the target's going to be. And Yeet, he's got refraction up. Waxy's taking a lot of damage to the tower, but it's... Oh, the fairy fire. Not going to keep him alive there, unfortunately. Wiz is going to try and trade the kill. But the dive and the fairy... The dive and the fire spirit's just not enough. So beautifully done. They'll see the TA ends up dropping as soon as Wizard hit the ulti. I mean, it's just so important. Like, it's another hero to be able to utilize the tag team for that bonus physical damage. And Wax is just going to go back to base. I mean, in the meantime, Mugi, they force a rotation. You know the Monkey King's going to have a good matchup versus the Timber anyway. Because the Timber's safe lane, he's going to farm, like, he's going to get a little bit more experience because he's underneath the tower. So you see he's actually doing okay, 15-3 right now. He's also gone for the 1-1-1 build, which I find actually intriguing. But yeah, it is nice because they leave him in this safe lane. It's a lot easier to get shoved into the tower. So he's doing okay in that regard, but we're going to have a smoke up. And Chen's actually going to group up with them here, so... Waxy with the invis, but... TA's going to be able to scout this out though. Saw that someone picked up the invis with that smoke getting popped here, so... Going to play a little bit defensive in the meantime. They're still also leaving AQ. So right now the side lane's having a good time, but... This is the issue though, you know, once the Timber kind of hits the level 4, the kill threat just isn't there as much as what it was previously. But yeah, once again, he does have Arfu. He's doing a lot of damage on the Templar Assassin. Waxy's got to be careful with the minus armor, thanks to the Vengeful Spirit. You see the terror that the Templar Assassin is able to put into the Newbee lineup. This does leave mid though, and Eric is kind of getting beat down here. This is a lane that looks like AQ's having a relatively good time. Does connect on the Remnant as well, so Weaver's probably going to drop. He's got 2 points up in the Resonant Pulse. Eric just able to get the Sakuchi off thanks to the one charges. He also has, looks like the Infused Raindrop. He didn't actually get any procs there, so. And then, what's going on bot here, Waxy? YDS that boundless strike from Mugi, 202. Absolutely shreds through him there. Very nicely done. 2 early kills for the boys over on Newbee. I'm very happy with how this bottom lane has gone for the Timber. I think it's gone really well considering. It's also, you know, Phoenix, you know, we've seen the nerf in the hero, but, you know, his laning stage is still relatively decent. Not as good as what it used to be, of course, before the patch, but he's still in a pretty decent spot. But you do see the emphasis that I think the TA's a hero that's 20 minutes in, that's when TA comes online. Like 20 minutes, you got Blink Death or BKB if it's a good TA game. And what Newbee want to do is try and take the towers and kind of infiltrate the jungles. We see Mugi bot. Willing Death from Timber Sword is going to be able to find the kill. And I mean, as soon as Timber hits level 6, then this matchup gets difficult. You have now a lot more damage potential, more pure damage options. So that's a big kill for him. Monkey hasn't been getting a whole lot of help, you know, in a matchup where 1v1, you know, usually it's fine. Like, he's gonna free farm, or at least Monkey's gonna farm, but he's not gonna stop the Timber from getting experience, which is the important thing. And they've also rotated the Phoenix as well to help out, as we've seen here. But as in, I should say, YDS is kind of more played around bottom instead of helping out mid. It's been the Venge that has left the Weaver on his own devices here. So the one thing I'm worried about from Keen is that I think that might be a little slow. Like, Wizard's just going to infiltrate the jungle like he's doing now. They need the Tusker to help out, because here comes Erica AQ's going to join them. They will be able to TP him in. And now with the level 6 as well. Snowball's going to come with the last second. Allows Yi to be able to get the refraction off. But Dire, they have the numbers advantage with Waxy showing up to the fight. So Arthur will get chased underneath the tier 1 tower here. He's outputting a lot of damage. They might actually be able to trade the Meepo here. Able to get the root before. One more right click is not enough. Erica's not going to continue the pressure though. He's actually still going to be careful here. Oh, Erica is trying to turn on Faith here. A lot of damage with the Sakuchi. Remnant off the mark there, so won't be able to find them. As we see, Monkey does also end up dropping, so the Timber finds a kill solo. I mean, at least his bottom matchup is going really well, but YDS a bit aggressive here. He's got the dive. Remnant not going to be on the mark here, so YDS will be fine. The Dire are too deep. They've got to punish them here. Newbee have to get out. Waxy's got no mana. Wizard still at the stage where he doesn't mind skirmishes, but they were there for way too long. Although Arfu, he's also going to get picked off as well. So we see a couple of heroes a little bit too far pushed up there. Tusker pays the price. So does the Venge. What is he's already far out. Meepo's farming nicely. I mean, this is to be expected though, of course. A hero that can just farm up the jungle until that first item, and then they just put so much pressure on the map. This is kind of the good thing though. Like the E-bleed, until it gets it, yeah, it's going to give TA a little bit of time to be able to find maybe like one item too. But you know, Yi's already got 2 deaths. He's still kind of up there in the net worth, actually ahead of the Monkey King. But I feel like Newbee, like they're going to have a really good time. Weaver kind of needs 2 items. I'd usually say TA definitely 20 minutes. And at this stage in the meta where games are ending way too fast, I think Keen might get run over a little bit. If they don't though, I mean, this late game is theirs. Like, Dire just don't have the lockdown at all. And TA is going to, like, they'll have so much minus armor, they're just going to shred through them. TA, Weaver, Venge as well, but Timber once again. Boy, it's gonna be under some threat here. Unfortunately, on the other receiving end of this, they'll drop the Supernova. AQ is gonna go for a TP out. So close, he actually will make it. Beautifully timed from the Void Spirit here. So the Timber, first death for him, will end up dropping there, and now leaves top. Wizard gonna be able to find the Templar Assassin, connects on the first route. Muki's got a couple of Jingu stacks, only one however, but it looks like without any TP rotations, she's gonna be in a little bit of trouble here. Does have the refraction up in a second, but unfortunately Wizard with the right click from downtown will be able to find the 3rd death for the Templar. We're about to have that first 10-minute interval as well, so we'll see. Looks like Radiant have control of this bottom side of the map, so they should be able to at least control 1 outpost and probably 2 bounties as well with how they're already set up. And I love the item build from AQ. Kind of more playing, you know, usually AQ's that position 2. More playing the 3 this game on the Void Spirit. He's going to go for the Spirit Vessel, an incredible way to be able to deal with the Timbersaw. If he can get this item before Timber has a Dispel, that's the big timing against that hero. You really, really suffer without a Dispel before that. And I actually would like to go for Spirit Vessel straight up before the Phase Boots. I think he looks like he's thinking about it too. Never mind. Alright, he'll pick it up. It's also not bad against a TA. Any little damage over time you can never say no to, but the one thing is that Dire do lack kind of some pushing potential until, you know, the Meepo kind of gets those items. So we see they're unable to really put too much pressure across the map. Like Mugi's slow sieging top. Yeah, bot hasn't taken a whole lot of damage, mainly because the Timber was there. Mid's not really had too much pressure on it as well, so he must have misclicked. Yeah, well, I definitely, because I just already picked up the tome. I actually don't know what happened there, but all is good. It's a kind of a big cooldown, but ain't gonna have to worry too much about it. When I saw the hand of God, I'm like frantically trying to find who was weak across the map, but it looks no one was. Weaver's also caught up very well in farm. There's a hero that Weaver right now I haven't feels very lackluster. I think you're a hero that doesn't have the greatest laning stage, and you don't really farm too fast as well. You know, once you get the diffuser blade, you're able to have a really nice time. Like then you can start kind of joining. You're still kind of this squish ball, but at least you're going to a lineup that doesn't have a whole lot of stuns. Like it's just the Meepo really that I think provides any threat. So that's the nice thing about the Weaver. They also did kind of sack him. We saw the Venge was the one that was making the rotations to the middle lane. So Eric has actually done incredibly well. Again, the Weaver is another hero that early levels you can get pressured up, but you see he's got the treads, double wraith with the wand as well. So a little bit of stats here. We'll see what he goes with the talent. If sometimes I've seen kind of that first item Dragonlance as well, just to help tank him up, but they're just gonna have the Timbersaw on the front line here. In the meantime, TA's still trying to find the items, but Dire don't have the greatest way to shove out the lanes. It's kind of the issue with their lineup and the pushing potential as well. So Radiant going to use this to their advantage, bringing everyone to this mid fight. I mean, still the Monkey King's not showing up. It looks like he wants to try and finish the Echo Saber. They know the Meepo as well isn't grouped up. He's not ready to be able to join this fight. Very close to the E-Blade is Wizard. Until then, Radiant know they can put a lot more pressure onto the towers, and they're doing an incredible job of that. Really, really love what they're doing. Because they have a two towers to one tower advantage so far, which is important. I mean, it does give the supports a little bit of gold, and it's more like the map control as well, of course. Now you can kind of make some aggressive movements to infiltrate the jungle. But I think Dire, they're just going to ramp up the pressure. Like, once Meepo finds this E-Blade, he's going to be able to make a lot more movements. And we do see the Divided We Stand as well. With that change, the level 11 now instead of the 10. Divided We Stand, clone XP game reduced from 40% to 30%. I don't remember seeing that in the in 7.25a. I haven't seen too many Meepos though to actually check the difference, but Radiant's still going to continue making some pressure across the map. YDS, they might be able to beat. Even Mugi's actually going to commit the ultimate here, so a couple of heroes on the back line will be able to get the dive away. The Timbersaw's the target, but I mean, he's going to be fine. Oh, Wizard is in the area, misses the first route, tries to get the Meepos a little bit closer. Miss micro coming through, and it looks like Arthu's just going to sacrifice his life. They're running head first into the Newbee lineup, so we'll end up dropping. Timber's not a hero they're able to bring down at the moment. Until they get the Spirit Vessel and the Void Spirit, they've got to give him a lot of farm. Because right now, I mean, Timber still hasn't picked up any components for the Yule Scepter. And AQ just needs the Vitality. So, just about a little over 700 gold until he does hit that big timing for them. Waxy. Eric is going to poke and prod here. Given the Timber's going to try and show up. And this is what we were speaking about in the draft. I mean, you just deal with the Chen creep so incredibly well. Looks like they're kind of baiting if he walks up the high ground here. There's still a couple of bot bounties as well, but still Dire. Looks like they're not content just yet. Wizard's going to go for... Oh, he left the neutral item there. I think he did ping it. But Wizard's going to go for a Silver's Edge next, so it's a really nice way to be able to deal with the Timber. The Silver's Edge is like a more expensive Spirit Vessel, and Timber actually pops the smoke there, so looks like he will be fine. They're going to try and smoke up and link towards that mid tower, but they also have a ward of where Wizard is. So they're trying to make their own move in here with a smoke. Wizard, they do have a couple of towers nearby the tier 2s to try and help out now, but Eric with a blink forward here, straight on top of the Meepo here. Wizard, is he tanky enough? It looks like that armor isn't able to keep him alive, but now it looks like the Timbersaw's onto some threat here with the Supernova Pyramid's going to give him a little bit of protection. Newbee, they've got a full disengage here with Eric on the back line, straight on top of Mugi. Gets a nice stun onto 2 with a hand of God as well. They're going to swap aggressively with a stun. Mugi will get brought down here, so 2 dead from Newbee. The next target will be Faith. They're also going to clean up all the creeps as well, so a lot of gold going over towards King Gaming. Newbee just a bit slower than what I thought they were going to be. I thought this E-Blade from Meepo would get more aggressive. Void Spirit still doesn't have the Spirit Vessel yet. And Monkey didn't have as good as a lane as what he probably should have versus the Timber. And now they're going to pay the price and lose Roche. So Meepo is a Meepo draft is very difficult in regards to you make a couple mistakes, the game's just over. Like, this is a hero that doesn't transition to the late game, and missing first Roche is so incredibly important, and they're going to end up losing a couple more heroes potentially as well. Waxy, Snowball gives him a little bit of protection, but now with the time lapse, actually drags him deeper into the fight here. Will get brought down, but now with the stun, Wukong's dropped as well. They'll trade a 1-for-1. But Timber will be able to stay alive, so a couple supports here dying. The ultimates do get used there as well. The time lapse is cool, actually. Kind of dragged him all the way in the middle. The issue is that their position for Phoenix has a Spirit Vessel at the same time as when the Void Spirit does. I mean, I know Void Spirit went for different items, but Phoenix actually really farm. 1-1 and 6, 25 loss. He's even going to go for a Radiance next. A little bit of AoE damage to help out. I kind of would rather Shivas. I think they need Shivas. Even like a Halberd. The attack speed slow against the Meepers to be able to protect the egg. Intrigued why he's going Radiance. I mean, don't get me wrong, Phoenix Radiance is really nice, but it feels like it's super expensive. And that's not a hero that can farm too fast, Waxy. Here, just protecting the Meepo. Shots, I mean, they got the vision. Shocks up the E-Blade. Still, this is going to allow them to close the distance with the movement speed slow, so it was a cute attempt to try and protect him, but it's just not going to matter. I mean, Radiant, they're actually playing really well. I mean, a lot faster than what I thought they would, and you know, this is the Diffuser Blade on Erica. I mean, just hunting the supports in the backline. Faith is just going to end up falling here. Like, there's nothing they can do to protect him. Tries to TP out, a little bit ambitious. But you still see, like, their towers. That's bottom lane just falls 18 minutes in. Radiant didn't even try and protect it. They're just shoving out the map here. If you take the jungle away from Meepo, you know, this is a hero that you flash farm, you get kind of an item or like 1.5 ahead, and you have this big advantage over the enemy team with their levels as well. But now he's going to be careful, because if he loses the jungle, how is he going to be able to keep up right now? As we see Timber under some threat. They have the Spirit Vessel trying to man fight. They do have protection in the backline. The Bound the Strike, it's a lot of damage onto Arfu. Now with the control coming out, a Snowball perfectly chain locking down Timber. He does get some protection help with the Venge. Erica's going to be the next threat as well, playing around with the Sakuchi, hunting the backlines here. Wizard able to get that last poof away. They're going to protect him. Mugi up on the trees, threading the high ground in case they do take this engagement here. Wizard's just out of there though. Now the rest have died. They've got to disengage. Or do they actually? They still got some heroes. Meepo won't be able to join them. Chen actually does have TP if he wants, but what did Mugi go? He went for a 4-2-4 build. This is the issue with the Monkey King as well. If you max out Boundless and max out Jingu, this means you want to fight. Oh, Wizard. This is not good. My Meepo is in trouble here. Actually gonna move aggressively on the real Meepo here. Doesn't find the extra Earth buy-in, so he's going to continue chasing away from the rest of the team here. Now with the magic damage coming through, it's just way too much. The Pure from Timber rips through him. He does drop the Wukong's command. It's a lot of damage. Timber's lacking the mana right now with AQ on the backline. Can they bring him down? Timber just way too tanky. The max out reactive armor looks like the Spirit Vessel is just not enough to find this hero. And now Afu with the wrap around. AQ will get caught out, able to use to dissimulate to the northern side, but the Timbersaw scouts him out here. So can't hide out, and Faith is going to end up getting dived as well. They got the vision for the swap back. And, I mean, this is not looking good. They're actually just going to walk higher ground. I mean, they've got Desolator. They can melt through the towers right now. And it feels like they're kind of struggling with this lineup right now from Newbee. Unable to really get a foothold of how this game is being played at the moment. They don't have a firm grasp of this, and it's showing. I mean, they're just walking high ground 20 minutes in. Ages on the TA for another 50 seconds here. They'll try and get the melee racks at least. But it feels like Wizards just kind of behind now as in regards to a Meepo. Like, yeah, you're second in net worth, but you know, with the swap back, Wizard, nice, just a snowball. Actually gonna give him a fair bit of protection here. Rain, have they dived too far, but the damage, Waxy shredded down. Wizard's getting right-clicked as well with all the minus armor. He's gonna be careful here. One more right-click will drop him, and now they're gonna continue the onslaught. King Gaming turns their attention to Mugi. Faith, the next target as well. Templar Assassin ripping through all of the Newbee lineup, and they're not done. They're even gonna commit onto the tier 4 towers as well. It's another nice snowball, but it's just not enough. It actually further holds him in place, setting up for the Templar Assassin Assassin to maybe find the Rampage here. They're trying to give it to him after the Remnant. He will find it. And Newbee, they have to call it quits here after the Rampage from Yi. King Gaming, a 21-minute victory. A lineup that I thought might be a little bit too slow. It's actually the Meepo that gets overrun here. TA with the blink, they just infiltrate the jungle. Meepo wasn't able to help out early enough from, I mean, a game that looks kind of decent, honestly. Like, they don't have a lot of AoE damage, not the greatest ways to deal with him. But the one thing I think Newbee, I don't know how comfortable they are on the Meepo. I have not seen, I think I may have seen Wizard play it maybe once if I'm like trying to flex the brain if I can remember, but I'm not gonna, Newbee just didn't look comfortable with this draft. They just didn't look comfortable. Wizard didn't look comfortable. A little bit of, a couple of misplays there. So maybe they're attempting, you know, the Meepo draft, seeing how it's able to play out potentially, but I'm kind of surprised that the E-Blade timing from Meepo wasn't when they started to make something happen. They were still kind of playing around in the jungle. He was trying to get more farm towards that Silver's Edge, and as soon as Keen just took the towers, Meepo lost the jungle, and a hero, like I said, has to be kind of like an item ahead with how that hero plays. Once Keen was able to take the advantage there, and I must say as well, like the lanes went a lot better for Keen than what I was going to expect. Like the Monkey King should beat a Timber matchup, but because Timber was put in the safe lane, he got a lot of experience. Also Monkey King was kind of solo, so once Phoenix came down, they actually got zoned out for a couple of waves here. They just enabled the Timber with giving him that bottom lane, which was incredibly important. It's nothing, it's like, well, one, it looked like they were kind of trying to dodge the lane, but regardless, even if he does get put in that safe lane, like I said, you have this potential to get a majority of the experience next to the tower. I don't think they blocked the hard camp as well, but Keen just honestly turned it around. Like that mid laner was looking scary, then Yi was able to find the blink, started making some movements, and King Gaming, they're going to be able to take game one. Really, really nicely played from them. And this is the thing about the Timber, like you are a hero that you struggle, you get counted in the laning stage, but if you give him like a relatively good start, he can take over. And it felt like the damage was really important to be able to help bring down the Meepo with that AoE pure damage. And that's going to be game one, ladies and gentlemen. So a beautiful victory coming through from Keen, getting rid of the cheeky Meepo pick that Newbee try and chuck out. So game two shouldn't be too long of a break, probably about 10 minutes until the next one, ladies and gentlemen.